What is that ringing? Ugh, it's so annoying. Oh, right. It's just my telephone. Sorry, I forget to turn off the ringer during shoots sometimes, but anyway. This isn't about telephone, but it's not about telephone. Today we're talking about one of the most prominent original species in the furry fandom. When you think fandom species, you think protogens, and then you think Dutch angel dragons. Hello everybody! My name is Sera Proto, and I come from space with videos for your face. This is my weekly series where I go into depth and teach you all of the stuff about all of the things about furry fandom species. If you like the video, don't forget to like. People tell me I'm underrated, so let's get to overrated. This video has been a long time waiting, and I've been working on it in the background between other videos because there's a lot here, and the species is a very public figure of their own. It's also incredibly long and lore-filled. I'm already having to break this into multiple videos, which is why this one is just the basics. I wanted to make sure to get it as right as possible since I'm not the only one who has made videos on this species. This species is actually so pervasive in the community that you may remember other guides I covered mentioning traits their species can't have to avoid looking like Dutchies. I didn't show it, but Celestial Guardian Dragons actually have a pic showing the difference between CGDs and DADs. DADs being short for Dutch Angel Dragons, or DADs. ManoKit even has rules in its guide against the use of horns and wings because they're worried that it look too much like DADs. If you want to create your own ManoKit, here's what you need to look out for. Number 1. No wings. BDs can have large back fins or arm fins like manta ray and other fish, but the species is incapable of flight. 2. ManoKit cannot be hybridized with other species, but some of the species that can't be hybridized are Sergals, Vernids, Dutch Angel Dragons, Wiggerbeasts, Protogens, Gem Raptors, Closed Species, and more. Dutch Angel Dragons are an original species created by Eno89777. Eno was the creator of the species and the first to fursuit as one. From here out, I'll be calling them Dutchies, Angel Dragons, or DADs, in order to lower my carbon dioxide output from talking so much. As with all species, a Dutchie can easily be defined by their lore and anatomy. Anatomy-wise, DADs must adhere to the strict rules of horse-like anatomy, feathered wings, no genitals, or digestive tract. Sorry y'all, but this horse doesn't poop immense amounts like others. Probably for the best, since they can fly. And if you thought bird poop was gross, imagine a bowling ball-sized poo mound hurtling at you, sped up by gravity and a disdain for human life. Oh yeah, also they have long ears and fur coats, but this is just the short of it to get you set up. Originally, DADs were a closed species, which explains why I don't have one. Now they're a semi-open species. So DADs for all, if you can follow their rules. There is actually a lot of stuff to go over here, but I just did 2 videos on Mochi Raptor, so I'm going to try to keep this one as simple as possible. I don't want to overwork myself. We'll get into things like timelines and fursuit rules some other time. For now, let's just focus on getting you started on designing one and their lore. Designing a DAD. First, you choose his body type. Is your dad athletic? Is he a grill pro? Does he have a Bara Daddy body type? Or is he the champion of the couch with a beer gut and a remote? Okay, that's the last dad joke, I promise. Maybe. Probably. Because Dutchies are a regulated species, we have a few rules to follow. These are their unique horse-dragon anatomy with the long snout, same general build and stance, long pointed ears about the length of the head, feather-covered wings. Majority of their body is covered in fur, and this one's in their words, unique internal anatomy for generating and storing supernatural energy with no digestive tract or reproductive systems. Ah, so like manakits, they can't bone, but it looks like these ones don't have booba. For additional rules we have, you can have up to 2 additional sets of each limb from this list. Tails, wings, mouths, eyes, and ears. Hybrids, Tor, and Shapeshifter Dutchies are not allowed. They are sexless and genderless. All dragons are officially referred to with they-them pronouns, but you can assign them different ones if you like. This is all coming from the website, and they don't show a visual guide to accompany it in a lot of places. Vernon's really nailed it with the step-by-step design guide, and I'm sure people are tired of hearing me say that. Dutchies have markings, and they're able to change the colors and patterns according to personal taste. Their coats can also change according to seasons or even by day-night cycles. These markings can glow or change color like a mood ring, but their coats can't change at will. There used to be a rule that you couldn't copy telephone's ring marking, and there's a lore reason for that we'll get to later, but that was changed 3 years ago. Some additional rules for markings, and it's more bulleted lists. Have I mentioned how much I love bulleted lists? Avoid copying other people's markings. It's a courtesy thing. Designs that are based on pop culture and concepts like food are allowed, but it's more likely you'll run into someone who has same or similar markings. Hybrids aren't allowed, but you can use markings to simulate other species. Names. More bulleted lists. Using names of other dragons is fine, but it's suggested you avoid it, especially if it would mean that your angel dragon would be confused with an admin's. You, of course, can't use the name telephone or radio because that belongs to Eno and her husband Seros, and you can't use similar names like headphones, Wi-Fi, microwave, television, microchip, or other technology-based names. I understand that Eno is a performer and wants to protect her stage name, but rules against tech names is kinda dumb. That was how to design one, but we have more detailed anatomy next, is what I would like to say, but let's save that for another video because it is very, very long. Several pages with categories covering the muscular system and the skeletal system. Lore. Here are some more bulleted lists for you. There are several realms that the universe is divided into in this lore. Think of them like elemental planes and dungeons in Dutch Angel Dragons. Paradise is heaven, essentially. The homies chill here, and it's all good and pure and stuff. It's ruled over by ancient beings, protecting the balance and turning chaos into order. Aether is a realm that exists side by side, mirroring the physical world where the supernatural exists. It's the upside down in Stranger Things. It's even described similarly in the full lore post. The Aether is a mirrored version of this physical world where ghosts and ghoulies live. Terra is the physical world where you boring humanoid losers live. Look at all the magicless losers. I'm kidding, I love you. Please like and subscribe and donate to my Patreon for early access videos like this. Abyss is the opposite of paradise, and it's where all the bad vibes live. It's a place for souls that are being tormented. It's the plane of chaos. In the long, long ago, there wasn't individual planes, but instead everything existed in one singular realm. This was difficult to keep in order. A drastic shift in power happened, and this divided the planes into their own realms. In the aftermath of a large explosion, the Terror Plane was created. This was what we and scientists believe to be the Big Bang. After this formation of the realms, duchies started to appear in paradise. These dragons were tasked with jobs that fit their nurturing nature. Their job was watching over Terrans. I prefer the word Earthicans, it sounds better. There was, of course, one special dragon, and it was Telephone. I don't know, writing yourself in as the master of your species always feels weird to me. It feels like you're admitting to running a cult. This super duper special dragon was assigned with the great honor of being the loyal protector and caretaker for a responsibility not found in Terra like most dragons, but for a newly formed being of paradise that was proposed to help bring about a greater peace and order to the universe. That was a word-for-word quote from the lore post. I thought I'd include that because it's just it's a big example of what this post is like. I couldn't really summarize it because that sentence felt like a whole lot of words that just didn't really mean all that much. It's saying they're in charge of protecting peace and order, but it was written in a way that was really confusing, a very long-winded way of saying that. Telephone was created from the energies of the Ancient Ones, and the same ones who protect paradise. The Ancient Ones got bored of all this peace and purity and decided to add some chaos to even things out, and war ensued. If you all want a direct reading of the lore, just comment below and I'll make it its own video. Basically, the duchies were disproportionately affected by the bad vibes and started the war. The Ancient Ones said, "Not cool, dog. Begone, thoughts," and kicked them out for ruining the vibes of the party. Now they live in Aether, the Shadow Realm.
Looks like you're going to the Shadow Realm, Jimbo.
Now here's a lore reason why no one else's Dutch can look like Telephone. For lore reasons, the ancients changed the duchy's patterns on their notes. They used to be white bands to show allegiance to their home paradise. Telephone, being holier than thou, didn't participate in the war you filthy sinners caused, and gets to keep the band. But yeah, now duchies can't make that marking on their own, and I understand that. It's very, very difficult to draw a freehand circle. Telephone eventually got bored and lonely and left since there wasn't need for a protector anymore. I guess because she left willingly, she got to keep all of her markings. Alright, so that's it. That was that might have seemed a bit shorter than you'd expect, but we have a lot of sections to go over, like anatomy and behavior, and trust me, like the Mochiraptor video, when you see all of this in front of you, you'll get why it had to be multiple videos. Once all the videos are released, I'll make sure to release a massive director's cut version with it all in one video, but for now, if you like the video, please leave a like. People say I'm underrated, so let's make me overrated. Subscribe too while you're there for more original species content, for videos like this, as well as tips and tricks for making your own. And lastly, check out my links on bit.ly/m/SeraProto for things like my Twitch, stream archive channel, merch, Twitter, and my Patreon. Thank you to patrons like Kiro and Mousebard, who help make these videos with their support. And for just $1, you can support the channel and even get early access to these species videos up to 3 days early. And with that, I say goodbye, horse dragons, and bye-bye. This week's viewer of the week is RLQO. They said,
discarded Taco Bell.
My favorite. I picked this one because it was my favorite joke in the video too. I voiced the raptor, and Mabel voiced the eating sounds. She does these really weirdly realistic and sloppy eating sounds, so it was the perfect bit for her. So thanks again for this funny comment, RLQO. If you want to be a viewer of the week, you just need to comment, and I'll pick my fave for next week. I also put fan art here, and if you want to make fan art, you can. Just message me on twitter.com/SeraProto or join the Discord. Link in the description for the community Discord, and I'll send you a reference. And I'll see you all later. Bye for real this time.